Looking to find an apartment, rehome your pug, make a missed connection, sell just about anything? Chances are you've checked out this website, a one-stop shop for anonymous users to build commerce and community. Unlike other sites that launched in the mid-1990s, this one is relatively unchanged, favoring simple interface and usability over flashy banner ads and slow-loading graphics. And unlike so many companies born in that same era, it survived the dot-com bust that wiped out countless contemporaries. Just blue links, plain text, and a search bar that gets straight to the point. While maintaining its old-school look, it's grown into one of the top 20 most visited websites in the world, generating billions of page views each month. So how did a humble collection of things to do around San Francisco turn into one of the most influential platforms on the internet? And that's why this week's On Brand is on Craigslist.
You're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with John and Marissa. I'm John.
I'm Marissa.
Hey.
This
Now,
is a fun one.
This is a surprise.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure it'll all get cleaned up in editing. You really had some trouble reading that cold open. And the first time you read it, I thought it was eBay. And then I realized I wasn't deeply paying attention. And then the second time when you said misconnection, I was like, wait, is this Craigslist?
Interesting. Okay.
And then everything fit into place.
Great.
Now, eBay, I think would be super fun
I'm
to
sure
do.
we'll visit it at some point.
Everyone will have stories on that. Now, Craigslist.
Oh, Craigslist.
Craigslist.
You know what I did to start? Well, after I had done all my research, I was like thinking about my personal relationship with Craigslist, and I searched craigslist.org in my email so I could see the way that I've interacted with Craigslist over the years. Oh my God. A Craigslist, like the amount of furniture I've bought, that I've sold, apartments that I've found, like literally like 3 apartments that I found through there. I bought a stripper pole. I sold a stripper pole. Like
all I'll say is the dongs I've dinged on that website. The dongs I've dinged.
Ding dong.
It is.
The bitch is alive.
The bitch is in bed with jeans, without jeans.
Ding dong. The bitch is in bed with jeans.
Merch. Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, we're not going to make this a rated R show, so there's no need to do a flag. But as a homo gay man for a long time, that was my primary reason. That and looking up, like, I wanted to be a misconnection so bad.
Same.
I would read misconnections to see if anyone had seen me.
Sure, yeah.
Like,
search for some keywords, places you've been.
I was on Larchmont today. Anyone say Larchmont? Starbucks Larchmont? Vampire-esque boy walking
I did
down
that
the street.
same thing. If I was out at like at a Starbucks, at Vermont and Hollywood, I was like, I'm feeling pretty cute today. I'm 21, and then afterwards I would go home and be like, Anybody notice?
Wow, 21. That was like half your life ago. This is an old brand.
We don't want to do that.
And how much, I thought you were going to say you looked up Craigslist.org to see how much the website had changed, and literally it hasn't changed at all. It's just
not
like,
changed at all.
It looks like someone's like list.
Yes.
It has changed in the fact that no longer are people ding-donging.
Exactly.
We'll get to that.
We'll talk about that. It had a couple versions of cleaning up its reputation over the years, and the website does look exactly like it did in 1995. I will say people use it for some things, like job postings, still very active on there. Apartments, still very active. Selling things, still very active. I was in the community, clicking around in the community tabs, seeing what people are saying about dogs, for example. Boy, it is a ghost town. And a lot of the 6 most recent things on any of the posts are like, man, this place is dead. I used to spend hours here in a day. And then now everybody's moved. Of course, Reddit, other places like Facebook.
Everything.
Changed.
The day the dong died, I never went back. I don't think if you search, it probably shows me on Craigslist 75 times a day.
Sure.
And then the day the dong died, it was like, the day the dong died, merch. No more, never searched it again.
My question, were you posting on Craigslist or
Both.
were you, okay.
100%. This is prime Hollywood Justin days. This is like, hey.
XO Hollywood Justin, like is your signature on Craigslist.
This is when, if I use my real email address to reach out to somebody, which is jisforjohn@gmail.com, that people assumed it was Jizz for John. So like, man, this guy's on the hunt. This guy is thirsty.
He committed to a full Gmail. And that was back when like you had to be invited to Gmail.
You had to
get, used his one Gmail invite on Jizz for John. This guy does not care about getting a job. I guess there's one kind of job he cares about.
This is going to be a great show. What a great brand. I'm so glad you picked this. I didn't even know that Craigslist was around anymore.
Right? It is a really interesting story.
When I was using it, it never really had an app. I don't think it had like an actual app. Like there was like weird apps that people had made that were like could search Craigslist.
Yes, you had to go to like a third party to figure out how to, I remember this, to like post your chair or whatever. You had to like do a workaround. And that was part of when we talk about like the rise of Facebook Marketplace. It was already so, this is an industry term, native on mobile. But and Craigslist was so far not native on mobile.
They're so not native on mobile.
Yes.
And I remember, God, this is all flooding back to me.
Get on a boat. Let's ride the flood, baby.
Holy crap. I'm just going to have a lot of feels in this show. But like you couldn't post the same ad within a certain amount of time. And I was on the hunt a lot of the time. So and I'm always looking for the same couple of things. So I had like 5 ads pre-made that I could just cut and paste into them.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But I had to reword them in different
Otherwise,
ways.
it's a little too spammy.
It'd be like, you've already posted this in the last like 12 hours.
Yeah,
like,
jeez. You've already posted this.
Girl, this was my prime. Hollywood Justin was thriving. I was a completely different guy at this period.
Sure, yeah. We all were. 20 years ago.
I have since died. And now I'm a podcaster. But wow, I can't wait to get into this.
Fun.
Now, before we do,
yes,
went and saw Lady Gaga last night.
Wait. What? Where? How are you finding her?
I feel like every 2 weeks I'm like, hey, just got back from Lady Gaga show.
What the hell?
I'm now traveling the world. She came back to the Kia.
Okay.
I saw her do, this was still the Mayhem Ball.
Well, the same one you saw before.
Same one I saw before on the floor where Shep, our amazing friend Shep, fan of the pod, gave me a floor ticket.
How'd you get in this time?
I paid.
Okay.
I used a connection. So I got in at cost.
Okay.
But I wanted to see her from higher up, and I just wanted to see it again because it is, I do think, one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, great.
And I was like, let's see it again. So I went and did that yesterday, and that was super fun. I got VIP treatment, so I was able to get in the lounge.
Oh my God.
Had all the like foods, got free parking.
Oh my God.
It was like a whole to-do.
Wow.
Met at the lounge. I've got it down now. If I know I'm going to the Forum Lounge, this is the first time.
Oh, this is your guy. Okay,
this is our guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is I went with Ziplocs because there is a feast to be had,
Sure.
and after the show you go back in. And there's all these sweets, and it all just gets tossed. So
the pictures of this food, it was like Lady Gaga's wedding. Like it seems like
a
wedding.
I was thinking about it, like, you know, like I don't know. I'm assuming if you're a caterer, they're like, okay, so we're gonna do a sweets table, and they're like, okay, let's do. I'm sure there's industry terms like 3 baked and like 7 gummies and this, and like they figure it all out. This had like 70 baked. It's like lava cakes, this cake pop, like 9 kinds of cookies, a skillet cookie.
Why? Like how many people are there?
Because it's for VIPs. Like celebrities may come in, the band comes in.
But people don't. This is the thing about these Hollywood parties, and you've seen it a million times.
No one eats.
Nobody eats.
Except me. Johnny's over in the corner. I had 3. I went with 3 Ziploc bags. I had, by the time I get in, it opens at 7. I'm first in.
This is the thing that always makes me laugh too, because it's like, oh, is the reason why you don't eat cake pops is because they're too expensive? Like because you see free cake pops and it's like you have to have like, is it cost prohibitive, your access to cake pops?
It is a little. Like a cake pop at Starbucks is probably like $5. Sure. I'm not going to do that. By the way, an aside, after the show, stopped at Rowley's for the first time in years.
Okay.
Because I was hungry.
Why were you hungry after this party?
Because the show's 3.5 hours long. This was like,
it was all dessert.
We ate at 7. It was, I had dinner at 7, but this is 12:30 at night.
Sure.
So I wanted a little before I got home. Stopped at Rally's for the first time because I never see a Rally's. The one down the street closed. 10 wings at Rally's. 10 fast food wings. $17.50. That's not the combo.
So fries and a drink.
No, that's like $22.50.
Fries and a drink is $22.50
at Rallies.
This is insane.
We don't have time to talk about it,
So
but that's my rant.
So people are going to Rallies. It's because they like the food, not because it's the cheapest food available.
Should we go to a bar and get wings for $20? Nah, let's go through the drive-thru and get the shitty wings for $17.50.
I went to Al Aqua the other night. They have this is just for you and me. They have deals like every night of the week, like a pizza night, a pasta night. For $25, you got an appetizer salad, any of the pastas on the menu, including lobster, which is like a $41 pasta. $25 for a salad, any of the pastas, and a scoop of gelato.
Oh my
$25
no,
for like real food.
I'd rather spend $22 and go to Rallies and get some. I do love their seasoned fries.
Sure.
I don't need a soda. I have 75 of them in my car.
Exactly.
And wings. But we don't have time to talk about Rallies. We'll put a pin in it. That's my rant because I got a lot of Gaga before we get into Craigslist.
Yes,
so I get in early. I get in first. I got a table because you like to sit. The tables all go fast. Mm-hmm. I put something down. I go get all my plates. I got 3 plates of food, 2 drinks.
You
desserts.
alone carrying multiple plates?
Oh my God. I just don't
What if you ran into like someone you know from showbiz?
I honestly don't even care anymore. I make a joke of it. 3 or 4 different people saw what I was doing. They're like, you're a pro at this. You're good. Like one girl at the end of the night was leaving with 1 cookie. I'm like, what is that? I'm like an old school waiter with plates all up and down my arms.
You need one of those coats inside that has like all the compartments, like for people selling watches, like on a subway. You need that.
Truly do.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and
Jinkos, honestly, Jinkos.
Maybe I'll start wearing shake.
You roll up to the VIP lounge with gigantic Jinkos, hands free.
1 pocket full of gumballs, 1 pocket full of gummies, vampire teeth. So this woman, probably Gen X, was walking. I saw her, what I assumed was with her older parents.
Yeah.
And all the tables had already gone. And I saw her looking for one, and she's like, let me look in the back. And then she came out, and she didn't see anyone. And I waved her down, and she came over. I was like, are you looking for like 3? She's like, really? I just want a place for my mom to sit. And I was like, I have 3 seats here.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you guys join me? She's like, you're incredible. Ended up having the best conversation with this chick. She works for a company that does tour logistics for Gaga and like all these other bands, of course. I like everything I say. She's like, I feel like we're gonna be friends. Did
you get her number?
She like looks at her. I said something about having a Ziploc. Like someone ratted me out because I told them in private I had a Ziploc bag. She told this lady's mom.
Yeah.
And then everyone's laughing. I told her, and she looked at her mom. She's like, we're gonna just be friends. We're like soulmates.
Oh my God.
She gave me her business card, so now we're like best friends.
Oh my God.
So
that's incredible.
That's all of that. That's just fun. Met someone new. I'll text her. And
sure, if you're in the back of the Lady Gaga tour bus.
I know. I was like, this could be a dangerous relationship for you.
Yeah.
She's like, I do sports too, and I'm like, well, you're safe there.
Yeah.
I don't need to go to a baseball mound. But so then I go to the show, and so I'm in a decent seat. It was in the VIP section. Wasn't the best seat, and I'm right in the middle of the row. I should have asked to be on the. I like to be on the end. I like easy access, and you can dance a little easier on the row. But I'm right in the middle. 2 very lovely, very gay boys came in after me and sit right next to me, and they are in it to win it.
I love that.
Decked out, like all the rings, all the jewelry, so in love, little twink, skinny. I assume freshly in love because they're constantly arms around each other, kissing each other. The show starts. And it's one of the screamers. He's just like screaming out the lyrics, screaming. He doesn't have a terrible voice.
Sure.
But I'm just always
We're not here to see
I'm
you,
like,
honey.
Girl,
yeah.
Like, I'm not that person. Yes. Sometimes I'll sing, but I only sing if no one can really hear me.
And kind of like there's a difference between like singing to yourself, you know, versus like
I have a show as well.
I want her to hear me.
Yeah, and that's what they think.
Yeah.
And so no one had come in the row before us. Mm-hmm. So after a couple songs, I told the girl next to me, I was like, hey, I'm going to sneak down there just in case no one's there. If I may have to come back.
Sure.
She's like, great, and whatever. So I'm like, I love that. I just want someone to connect with. Let me talk to you and pretend I'm
You were really
here with
like
somebody.
starving for human connection.
This is how I always am. Yeah. I just like to connect with people. So I go down there and sit. And then eventually whoever seats those were do come back. Sure. And the usher was like, can I see your ticket? I'm like, I'm actually just right here. And then we went in the aisle and I was like, hey, listen.
Did they get mad if you do that? Like the ushers, or they kind of get it?
They were actually pretty cool about it. I think if I hadn't had a seat, he might have been, which the people next to me didn't. And I watched them keep moving around every time they got caught. I was like, good for you. So before I go to my seat, Grandpa John is like, hey, the guy next to me scream singing. So I was just looking for a choir seat. I was like, is there anywhere else around here? Have you seen
You're saying this to the usher?
Yeah. I was like, have you seen any empty seats? He's like, it's really sold out. He's like, I can get you some earplugs if you want. I was like, that's great. That sounds great. So I go back to my seat. He gets me earplugs. I put one earplug in here. Mm-hmm. And it really helped a lot. It just cuts him out.
Yeah.
And it's probably better for my ears anyway.
Sure.
So what I forgot to mention is all these LA shows, they're filming. Like they did for Taylor Swift for the Disney thing. They're making like a concert film.
Of course. But the perfect way to see a concert is from the comfort of your own couch.
100%. That would be my third view of this show. So there's cameramen on the stage. They're all over. They're shooting everything. And what's interesting about it, I had watched the live feed the night before, and this also happened. I know. This also happened at my show. She stopped a few times just to get it perfect.
Oh,
like
really?
twice she stopped.
Wait, mid-song?
No, between songs.
Okay.
Instead of just flowing into the next one twice.
She'd be like, okay, hang on. I actually want to be standing over here.
Both times I noticed it were for her hair. There's one where she's in a sandbox with skeletons, and like she finished one song, and before she went into the next one, she's like, do you guys care if I fix my hair? Like they just want this to look great.
Sure.
So she did that. And that was the only place I saw cameras. And then towards the end, maybe, I don't know, 5 songs left, I look over and I see a camera guy and his assistant like shooting down my row. And I'm like, oh God. It's like I want to be in the movie, but I'm also don't want to be in the movie.
This is why we need merch.
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
advertise.
I'm wearing a Cure hoodie.
It's a waste of a billboard, baby.
Yeah. And this happened at Taylor too. Our row got shot. So they're shooting it and it's all just normal. Then they move down a little bit and they're literally, I'm not even kidding. It looked like the camera was just on me. And I'm like, there's no way I'm a focus of this shot.
Maybe you are.
I know that I'm not because I don't know words. I try to sing along, but I can't. I had a water bottle, a Cure shirt on.
One earplug.
I'm just like bouncing my head. I'm doing my woo and when she says paws up, putting my paws up because she loves for us to put our paws up. We're monsters. I'm more of a monster than a Swiftie, I realized. So they filmed the entire song looking like they're shooting me.
Wow.
And then the song ends. And then the guy starts to walk towards me. He like gets in our aisle and walks towards me, starts talking to the 2 gay boys next to me. And he's like, hey, there's a number on here. I'd really love to interview you for the documentary we're making on Lady Gaga. If you could call this number. And I'm just standing there. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I'm going to be in this shot. It's going to be old John not singing. And these 2 guys just living their best lives. Like,
they're in love. They're kissing. They're singing. They're sweating. And then you with your earplug in. Oh my God.
I hope to God I'm in that shot. After I shot some stuff and turned my thing so I could get them on camera, just so if they do end up in the movie, I can say, look, I was right next to them.
Yeah, sure.
But holy crap, what a funny moment. The thing that like was kind of driving me crazy, but not enough that I like made a big deal of it. I was like, that's what, and in my head, I'm like, of course they should be in it. Like they're such fans. Like they clearly have stories. They knew every song.
Yes.
They probably met over a Lady Gaga Reddit post or something.
Sure.
But it just felt so funny to me.
Oh my God, I hope that we have your shoulder or have your head in that. I pray
that my shoulder, I'm wearing a black Cure hoodie. I'm like, they're going to have to like Greek out everything I have. I'm holding, wearing, and I'm just like, like
the idea of being like walked towards by somebody like expectant and then like being like, excuse me, and then going to the person next to you.
It's 100%. I'm sorry. Did you? I noticed you were filming. Oh,
it's like when somebody like is waving to you on the street and you wave back and then they're like, you turn around and you realize, not for you, honey, not for you, not for you. Oh my God, I can't wait to see that.
Merch.
That comes out, what? Is that an Apple? Is that an HBO? What's this going to be?
Who knows with her? I think that whole last thing I saw at the Wiltern was filmed for an Apple. She's got to deal with Apple Music. Who knows?
Okay.
Sure, whatever brings her the most money.
Cannot wait to see you on that.
But props off to Lady Gaga, man. I mean, she does a whole thing just celebrating the queer community, which other people like us, but she's in it.
She was in it from the get-go.
Yeah.
She's not just cashing in.
Yeah, so I think that's my last time seeing her for a minute. I'm going to put a pin in Gaga.
I hope so.
I've seen her 4 times in a year.
That feels like plenty.
But there you go. There's my Gaga story.
Oh my gosh, how funny. Well, you know what? If you had Craigslist, you might be spending less time at concerts.
Or I could be looking for a single ticket for night 2 of Gaga.
Exactly.
And then getting scammed. Yeah. I got scammed out of a Sinead O'Connor ticket on Craigslist.
Oh my gosh. Wait, was that the last time?
I think so. And I think it was Craigslist. Yeah, because I hadn't been on Craigslist in so long.
Was that the guy with the cane?
The guy with the cane and told me he was like had to put his son to bed. I talked to him on the phone.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, I've totally I got
He
seniored.
sold you a fake ticket.
Yes.
And then you got to the venue and you saw him.
He's like, I have a cane and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he revealed some identity. He was like, I have a handlebar mustache, a cane, big red curly afro, and I'm wearing a carnation on my lapel. And then you're at the venue and you're like, is that him?
In one hand, I have a bag with a $sign on it. In the other hand, I have no tickets. Okay, I think.
Did you confront him when you saw him in real life?
I didn't.
I thought you said like something like, "Hey, I'm the guy you were talking to."
If I did,
and then he defended himself. He was like, "Hey, man, I got to make a living." You did, yes.
No, I think he said that on text.
Okay.
Before he blocked me, like it was like I wanted to go to Sinead so bad. Tickets sold out like in an instant. I was never able to get them through a normal thing. And then I go to Craigslist, and I hadn't been in so long, and that's when I realized like Craigslist, I felt like I walked into like those people that slap cards in Vegas. Like it felt so like, what is this? Like I'm smart enough to know that most of the things I'm looking at aren't real. And then you're kind of looking for a real one.
Scam City, for sure.
And then it's totalscamcity.org. Yeah. And thought I found one, talked to him on the phone even, told him I wasn't comfortable, gave him partial payment. I think I paid him half. I think I only ended out being maybe 60 at the most.
Still, though.
It's still a lot.
Sucks.
Yeah. But then I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go to the show. Went to the show. While I was like looking around for tickets, I saw this guy who was like, I have like 3 extra tickets, and gave them out to people.
Oh.
And I was like, dang, I should have. And then hung around a little more. And then right before that guy went in, and I had seen the guy with the cane who scammed me, I went up to him and I was like, hey, I saw you happen to be passing out tickets. You don't by chance have one more, do you? And he's like, I do. And he gave it to me, not only got the ticket, had an incredible time at the show, and met Sinead afterwards.
Yeah, perfect.
So like when things like that happen, I'm like, maybe if I hadn't been scammed, maybe I would have never met her. And this is meeting her literally February of 2020. A month later, the world shut down.
Yes.
2 years later, she passed away.
Yes.
I was like one of her last.
That was the last time you would have
hugs.
possibly. Yes, I think you are that picture too of you hugging Sinead O'Connor.
Oh my God, a stranger took a picture of her.
We'll
She
have
looks
to post
like.
that in our supplemental.
I have to find it. She looks. You might mistake her for being unhoused after the show. She just looks like a little.
No, she's like a street urchin. She's like from like Les Miserables. She's like a woman from another country. Century, like a woman that doesn't exist anymore.
It's like the stranger was like, hey, just so you know, I have a camera that takes a picture of 200 years ago, and I snapped this picture of you. And so he gives me the picture. The picture he took is it's like midway post hug. So it looks like I'm pushing Sinead away and repulsed by her.
Yeah.
But it cracks me up.
It's very funny.
So
how special. That's true. Anytime, something doesn't work out the way you want, you can look at it like, it had to be that way. You know what I mean? Like it just had to be.
That's how I look at the whole podcast, because I was really bummed when we got laid off from Avatar.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if I was still working at Avatar, we probably wouldn't have started this. So.
And this is how we're going to make our first $1 million.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Let's do it.
$1 million. That'd be so cool.
Maybe we can get $1 million on Craigslist. Tell me how.
Let's go into the history of Craigslist, because I'm sure you won't be surprised. It starts with a man named Craig.
In San Francisco.
Well, he starts out in New Jersey. So his name is Craig Alexander Newmark, and he was born to Jewish parents in 1952 in Morristown, New Jersey. So his dad is a salesman. He deals in food, insurance, promo materials, and his mom is a bookkeeper. His dad sadly dies a few months after his bar mitzvah, so he's just raised by his mom. And he is a self-proclaimed nerd, social outcast beyond what you could ever imagine. He has black, thick rimmed glasses with tape in the middle, and he has a pocket protector.
Come on.
Yes, literally.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So he never got invited to other kids' parties. He never had any friends growing up. And he says he just kind of like embraced his social awkwardness. This is something he was like, this just isn't for me. I'm going to put my energy elsewhere. So he loved science fiction, he loved comic books, and he also loved computers. So when he attended college at the Case Western Reserve in Cleveland, Ohio.
I mean, everything starts in
comes
Ohio.
back to Ohio. He was originally planning to study physics, but instead he earned a bachelor's and master's degree in computer science in 1977. So all through college, his social skills are still he feels like they're holding him back. He reads a book called Language and Thought and Action, and it made him realize that he, not other people, was the problem.
Oh, wow. Usually books tell you the opposite. Right. It's all them. No, Craig, it's you.
He's just not that into you. That's one that tells you it's your fault.
That's true.
He's just not that into you, and Language in Thought and Action are the two books that tell you that you're the problem. And this was how we realized that there are skills that he needs to internally develop if he wants to figure out how to connect with people. And the way he talks about it, I think nowadays there would probably be some like autism awareness. Maybe he's on the spectrum. Maybe he's just, these are like learned behaviors, because he describes that he did kind of learn how to act around people to where they would perceive him as maybe more normal, but it was very tiring. I think now the term for that is masking. You kind of can put on this facade that will be more socially acceptable, but it's not. His true self is just, he's a nerd. He's a nerd. No other way to say it.
I put on a mask and it just is like a sad mask. I'm like, I'm going to pretend. This is me pretending.
This is me.
I'm happy.
So after graduation, this is the late 70s, he went to work for IBM and then Bank of America and then Charles Schwab. So he's kind of bopping around corporate computer jobs, doing IT and various programming things. And then he eventually moved to San Francisco in 1993 at the age of 42. Don't you love when in their 40s, people really find the thing that puts them on the map?
Hello.
Nobody's home. Nobody's home.
Someone's at the age door.
No solicitors. So in 1993, he's in San Francisco. This is the scene of San Francisco in 1993. First of all, there was the devastating earthquake in 1989 that the city is still recovering from. Do you know about this like Loma Prieta earthquake?
I know, I'm aware of it. I feel like I know more about the LA one, which is not much later
Northridge
than it was.
One, yeah.
It was like 94.
Yeah, this killed 63 people, injured 3,700 people, and left up to 12,000 people homeless.
San Francisco is not a place I'd want to be during an
Oh, no.
earthquake.
And this is like pictures of the freeway that it's like cracked into. It's like very like disaster movie. It looks so scary.
My biggest fear. And imagine being on that bridge that gave me my fear of bridges, the Bay Bridge.
Imagine.
It's 4 miles long, I think.
Was that in San Francisco, that Bay Bridge?
Yeah, the Bay. San Francisco Bay.
We can't go to San Francisco.
4 miles long. It's so long. There's an island in the middle to like hold it up.
It's very scary.
And it's a double stacker. So it's like you have a whole freeway above you.
It's not natural. Of course, San Francisco is still deeply shaped by the AIDS crisis.
I mean, this is 89. Yeah, it's like in the
93. Yeah.
Oh, we're now in 93.
Yeah, 93.
Yeah, that's of course.
It's a big part of the city's
identity. That was a big place. I think San Francisco was one of the first, if not the first place that had hospital, like dedicated, like help for people that had full blown AIDS.
Wow.
It was a lot. It was a tough time.
Where's the pride flag? I haven't checked the timeline. 93.
Girl, that timeline is there for you to use, not for me to be your assistant. So feel free to pop in anytime.
Very true. Email me and tell me when the pride flag started. So it hasn't been yet transformed by the .com boom.
Google, when did the pride flag start?
Everything has a start, honey. I consider birthdays when you start.
That is when I started.
So when I asked someone how old they are, I said, when did you start?
Speaking of when did you start, at the Gaga concert last night, talking to one of the friends of the new person I met who was friends, and she was like, you're too, I forget what I said. She's like, you're too young to even blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I'm not. She's like, you're what, like something 30s? And I was like, I guess I am a little too young for this.
Oh my God. Is there any better compliment?
Going into a concert being told you're too young.
Just 40 miles south, Silicon Valley is already where it's like companies like Apple and Intel are getting started, but they're focused on hardware and corporate computing. They're not really like, San Francisco is a different type of computer person. This is artists that are experimenting with like digital tools for their artwork. They're open source kind of tinkerers. They're like hackers. It's like the movie Hackers. It's like a different type of computer person. It's not
people
the
that
dork.
like build their own computers.
Exactly.
If you're an Apple fan, like Apple, this is pre-iMac. This is pre-Apple being cool. This is during the time Steve Jobs got fired from Apple, and then he's at Next and then comes back. And Amazon isn't even like a big thing yet, if it has even started. It's not at all. It's the seeds of Silicon Valley.
It's the seeds of Silicon Valley, but it's not like profit-minded. The way you think of like Silicon Valley with like venture capitalists and the IPOs, these are like gritty, creative, progressive, like counterculture rebels that are congregating to kind of figure out how to use technology, basically like for community and art. And there's this neighborhood called South of Market. They would call it Soma. And it had gotten the name the Multimedia Gulch.
Didn't they call you the Gulch in high school?
Yep, multimedia.
Multimedia Gulch. There's our Gulch girl.
It had been the home to leather bars and houses and like loft creative spaces. And Wired Magazine launched in the Multimedia Gulch in 1993.
I loved Wired Magazine. You know what else I miss? I don't know if it's still around, Mental Floss.
Mental Floss, that's still out there.
I feel like a lot of times when I would, when I was writing an episode of the pod, I would search fun facts, and Mental Floss would come up all the time.
They have fantastic fun facts. Yeah, Mental Floss is still going strong.
Love it.
So this is, the Multimedia Gulch is like the hub, the epicenter of this like cyberpunk utopia. And people are building like CD-ROM music video computer games. They're going to a warehouse ecstasy rave at night. They're just having a ball.
This is like you're at a party in this town, and like you're some like cute girl who's like just in for a little bit and like ended up at this party, and some nerd is like, you don't even understand. Like in 10 years, we're going to be like ordering, blah, blah, doing pizza through your telephone.
Exactly.
And they're all just nerding out about all what is to be. Who knew that they would eventually make AI and
they'll
destroy
all be
the world.
billionaires someday, but at this point they're all in their 20s, they're all hot, they're all on drugs and having a ball.
Yeah.
And then in that mix, imagine that scene of everybody like dancing at a rave and like making a CD-ROM, and then you have Craig Newmark with his pocket protector
pushing
and his
glasses. Hello, boys. I'm new in town.
He's also middle-aged.
Oh, 42.
He's 42.
He's in his 40s.
He's working at Charles Schwab, and he's
me at the Gaga concert. An investor comes in. He's like, "Ooh, I'm getting money," and he pushes him aside. Actually, we'd love to talk to you boys.
Exactly. So what did keep him connected at this time, and this is how he's kind of learned from that book and kind of just from his life, skills to how to connect with people and use what he has to find his community. So he used the internet's earliest communal spaces. So there was something called Usenet, which is a bulletin board system that predated the web. When people say predated the web, I'm like, how are we getting there? How are you finding it?
But
93?
You see things like the internet started in 1952 when a man sent a whatever. We'll have to.
Like, is radio the internet? It might be. It's like first internet.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So
he was on there. He was on The Well, which was the Whole Earth Electronic Link, which was a pioneering online community founded in 1985. It's like an online community in 1985. Maybe the computer is maybe the size of a storage unit.
Home.
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
2 people. Like, I'm going to log in. I want to talk to someone tomorrow. I'm going to log in now.
I guess. I mean, just call them on the phone. I don't understand. So that was where San Francisco's creative intellectuals would kind of swap ideas, or journalists would meet with other writers and musicians, and people would kind of like collab, but a certain like type of like intellectual set. So he was noticing something in all this online community building that really moved him. And I think because, this is my little theory just from reading about him, I think because he always felt as an outsider to people and like social groups, he was able to kind of observe them more almost like a scientist, like very objectively, because he was noticing things that maybe if you were inside a social ecosystem, you wouldn't really notice. So his observation of these ways that people would interact with each other on these online forums, he's saying people are good. Strangers are helping strangers. People are freely sharing advice, not wanting anything in return. If somebody sees a lead on a job, they just like share it with their community for no benefit of their own. And he's describing it as people demonstrating that people are good. So for him, which is so funny for that to be your takeaway from the internet, like the entire experience of the internet to be like, you know what? People are nice.
People are pretty good. I read one comment about a new flavor of Doritos, and they're like, "I hope your whole family dies."
Exactly. Thank God that wasn't the internet he saw, or else we would not have Craigslist. Because he says the early internet, this little corner of the internet, it felt to him like a gift economy. So that's just like, in the same way like buy nothing feels good. It's like people are just sharing and giving and but then people will fight in there now too.
But people were good back then.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the time period where you find the footage of Hillary Clinton and all the politicians doing the Macarena.
Yes.
It's like, give me that moment again.
Will we ever get back? I don't know.
I thought we were gonna have a long pause of silence.
I'll add in a long pause.
We don't need Al to edit that in. Will we ever get that back? Time will tell.
No, we won't.
No,
I'll tell you.
That's a better. Let's do that. Take out my no.
Okay.
We can do it again.
Get ready.
Will we ever get that back?
No. Perfect.
Good.
I'll use that one.
Use all of them.
So there's a high level of trust in the community. There's no monetization. It's not even like a company. It's just like free sharing of like mutually beneficial aid. It's just like the best version of a society and a culture that he's seeing in these online spaces. And he's thinking like, well, how could I kind of contribute to that? Because I've gotten so much from it. I've gotten so much advice and community and connection and job postings and restaurant recommendations. And how can I give back?
This is when I would have written a
what?
recreation.
Oh, sure.
Because I haven't done one in a long time. Yeah. Someone would have come up to him and said something. I'm like, I saw the nicest looking boy today across the street at KFC. And I have no idea who he is or how if I could ever find him again. And he had his big aha moment.
You know what we could do in a future episode is maybe make that a little improv game.
Oh, recreate it? Yeah. Like I like how I think it happened.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do like a little improv game.
Let's make this show more improv heavy. On improv?
Some of those improv podcasts do quite well.
Our friend Susie Barrett has one that talks all about improv with some of the greats. We love it.
There you go. So he had been in these online communities for about 18 months, benefiting from everyone else's generosity. And he decides, okay, how am I going to contribute? He began sending a very simple email. Oh, I love this. To 10 to 12 friends. So here are some of the events happening in San Francisco that you might enjoy. The emails, of course, very much like the website now, is just plain text. There's no branding. There's no ads. It's just recommendations. These are the events he shared. Joe's Digital Diner, which was a communal space in San Francisco where people could gather and meet and share new cutting edge technology around a big pile of spaghetti and meatballs.
Love it. I hope it's still around. I'm sure it may be. I don't know.
I don't think
I can see that surviving.
The website still exists for Joe's Digital Diner, and it is darling, considering that this was seen as like cutting edge of technology. Yeah. 4 hyperlinks on the left.
That looks like johnglover.com, I'm sure.
Yes.
Under construction, a little man shoveling under construction for 25 years.
Exactly that. So you could go to so these are what's happening this week. You could go to Joe's Digital Diner. You could eat spaghetti and meatballs and hold up a CD-ROM. You could go to the Anon Salon, which is a theatrical tech-infused party with performance art and emerging technology. Hey, maybe you'll even fall in love. Who knows?
I love it. 2 things I want to merge more than anything are dance and tech. Performance art and tech.
Obviously, he didn't expect it to grow. He just thought, like, this is a little way I can give back and share the things that I'm kind of hearing about with my small community.
I like that I may be going out on a limb here, but it seems like, so he's making this list.
Yes.
I guess I don't want to get too on the nose about it.
Sure.
But I guess in a way.
What?
You could say it's Craig's list.
Do you want to know what he originally wanted to call it?
Cool guy thing.
SF Events.
Oh, San Francisco. Oh, Craig.
I know. And all of his friends says, we already call it Craigslist. I feel like you should just call it Craigslist. But, he doesn't want to be the star of it. He feels like that's too connected to him. His ego wouldn't let him suggest that. But he says, okay, if everyone's already calling that, we can call it Craigslist. Okay. Because what happened is after these 10 to 12 people are on this email list, word is spreading. Someone goes, you went to Joe's meatball party and I didn't know about it? Add me to your list.
You got to go to Craigslist.
Get me on your list. So people wanted to be added to the list. And then people start saying, oh, I'm having a disco rodeo cyber brigade in the loft down the street. Can you add that to your list? I have a job posting. Can you add that? I'm trying to get rid of a couch. Can you add that?
So at this point, you can't go on and add things. He has to send, because it's just an email.
It was just an email. And when it got to 240 email addresses, the system broke. It couldn't send out to more people than that. So he had to migrate to, it was called Major Domo. It was a list server program. The person who came up with Major Domo is now probably like a $40 billion company that lives on an island somewhere.
Yeah, they own a whole state.
So that software for his list server required a name, and that's when he said, okay, well, I'll call it SF Events. No, we'll call it Craigslist. That's better. He had didn't take a poll. There was no consultancy firm. It's just like, yeah, Craigslist. That's what people are calling it.
You want to name it after me?
Really? Little old
me?
Pocket protectors. That's so your pens don't leak in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't get on your shirt.
On your shirt.
And then I'm at this party and everyone's talking about all these events. I'm like, will I be able to find dongs on this list? Can you add an 8-inch dong to your list?
ISO, big dong.
SF Dong Boy.
SF Dong Boy, exactly. I don't know when dongs made it. I don't know if dongs were on the list as it had like 20 to 30 people. That was probably after it got on the list server.
Someone in that 240 was also hoping to find a dong.
It's San Francisco in the 90s.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
90% dong.
I'm shocked it wasn't called Dong's List, to be honest. So someone posted a job listing for a software engineer, and then more people were doing that, and then recruiters were realizing, oh, this is San Francisco tech workers. This is like a hub where all of them can come together, and this could be a very effective like hiring channel, because you think of it like, where else are you finding this kind of like high-level talent in this hub where everybody's flocked to San Francisco? You're not putting an ad in the back of a Wired magazine. You want to be able to reach everybody where they are, which is on computers. So then the job post became like the thing that took off. That was what they were first known for, was the job postings for people in this like tech industry. And then of course, San Francisco's housing shortage was already very severe in 1995, still from the earthquake. San Francisco's always had a big housing problem. And then apartment listings began appearing, and those got a lot of traction, and those exploded. Then roommate requests, and then sublets, and then people were just posting, I'm looking for anything. I need a bird cage. I need tap shoes. I need whatever. And they're realizing, oh, this is a place just to connect with your entire community for literally anything.
I mean, not to get too philosophical here, but it does kind of show you where humans place priorities.
Yes.
What's most important? A job.
A job.
What's next? A home. What's next? Skates. What's last? Dong. It's like bullet pointing.
We have it all backwards. Dong first.
Skates. Oh, first. Dong first.
Dong, skates. What's third after dong and skates?
Puppy.
Dong, skates, puppy.
Puppy.
Okay.
House job.
Well, some of the other things that started to be added were items for sale, used cars, furniture, services, workshops, lessons, gigs, and then looking for, which could be anything.
And my favorite. Free items. Have you ever gone down a rabbit hole looking at free items?
Yes.
I can get a palm tree because I have to dig it up, but that palm tree is free. Let me get this right. You're telling me that's free as long as I dig it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew somebody who they would sell couches that they got for free on Craigslist, like as their primary source of income, because there were so many people.
Like street couches?
Well, there were so many people that would post on Craigslist saying like free couch. And if you have a truck, you can get that couch. So you would just drive and get it. And then you post it on Craigslist and you say, couch, $100. And then somebody will pay $100 for that couch because you can deliver it.
That's
it's
smart.
actually a pretty good scheme.
Because when people are moving, a lot of times they're just in it. They just get rid of it.
Just get rid of it. Because don't we know you try to sell something on Craigslist? My God, the back and forth. Somebody's like, I'm driving from San Diego. Please hold it for me. I've never wanted anything more. Do you remember we had a headboard that looked like it was a mirrored and it had a puma on it? Me and David.
Laura. Kind of, yeah.
So that was in our old apartment. And the amount of freaks that were coming out of the woodwork for this mirrored puma headboard, I was like, I'm looking at my emails. I'm like, geez, Louise. And I'll post the picture because it's David like on the bed and it's a mirrored headboard that looks like a puma, like very 80s. Like,
what I want to know is if when they were searching Craigslist, were they searching headboard or were they searching puma / mirror? You only give it to the one that was searching headboard.
That's a great question. But I had an influx of people saying like, I've never wanted anything more. I'm hopping on a plane to get this thing. And then like, then you're like, great, I'm holding it for you. Radio silence. You never hear from them again.
It's Facebook Marketplace before Facebook Marketplace.
Exactly. So you're kind of better off just like for the time and energy just to be like free, like get it out of my life so I can focus on making real money, baby.
I will not get too graphic here. Okay. But I, at one point, did sell a futon on Craigslist.
Okay. That's not graphic at all.
I didn't really pay attention before listing it.
What do you mean?
There might have been a couple of stains.
Okay. It was well used?
It had been around.
Okay. So and then people pay extra for that.
I know. This woman didn't. Someone was coming over, and then all of a sudden I realized it, so I'm like quickly trying to like clean up this old crusty futon.
Yeah, yikes.
I did eventually sell it or gave it away or dragged it to the curb. I don't remember.
I think dragging to the curb is
something like that.
Most of the time the
drag
best.
It to the curb. Hollywood Justin should not be selling bedding.
You also like habitually like have a hard time selling things.
Yeah.
Like you'll get something with the intention to sell. Like remember you were a makeup salesman for a while. You had a cell phone you got for free from an event you wanted to sell.
You ended up having to sell that for
I sold it on eBay and then I feel like I like got you an escape room ticket in exchange.
I think you put it towards one of our like
trips. Yeah, an Airbnb fee. Yeah. Sure. Selling something is hard. It's hard.
It's hard to let go.
A lot of work.
And it's a lot, like you have to interact with people.
Measuring.
Back
and forth with the weirdest people you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. So now this list had transformed from an events email into a citywide bulletin board. We all know the bulletin board in the coffee shop. This is looking for a roommate, selling a cat. This is that. It's on the internet. Everybody can access it. Craig did not design or intend for this to be like the way it scaled. He didn't even announce that it was expanding or that it was transforming into this thing bigger than it was before. He didn't really moderate it. It was just kind of community driven in the most organic way possible. Because again, this is just this one guy, like in his apartment with this website. He said that he was very surprised because he had no business plan. He had no strategy to scale it. He was still working at Charles Schwab. He's just in his living room. Meanwhile, Craigslist is like taking on this whole life of its own in the late 90s. So without even intending to, he created this genius structure of a business. It is very high profit margin, like a very low overhead. It doesn't have any office space. It's like you think about other startups at that time in the 1990s that would overexpand immediately. Like you'd get a giant office. You would hire 200 employees. You have a ping pong table. You have a Pac-Man machine. This is not a startup launch. This is one man and one computer that is growing completely organically. And that is a clue as to like how it was able to sustain compared to the one everyone knows, pets.com, had a Super Bowl ad and then 9 months later was completely bankrupt because so many of these other companies that started as websites in the mid 90s just completely overscaled.
Yeah, they're spending money they didn't really have.
They're spending money they didn't have on something that was like certainly not guaranteed.
What was Craigslist big profit? Like what are they getting money from?
So they never had ads and they were definitely approached to have banner ads, but that was very like against that from the beginning. So the site at its time looks exactly like it does today. It has plain text, blue hyperlinks that turn purple after you click on them. Yeah, no ads, no photos, no decorative design. He says he just didn't know how to do fancy. So it was just kind of like, he's kind of looking at kind of like literally like it's a list. Why does it need to be any better than that? And he ended up being right. As far as how he made profit. So in 1997, the traffic was really starting to grow and advertisers are approaching him about integrating banner ads into the website. And he was not monetizing it at this point. It was just a service to give back to the community, and it was just running on its own. He had no employees to pay, so he's like, why do I need to be making any money off of it? He later explained when his declining of that monetization at that point, that it was a simple belief that some things should be about money and some shouldn't. So he says he was earning enough money from his programming job to live comfortably. He didn't need ad revenue. Leaving money on the table became Craigslist like defining philosophical belief. So he wasn't making any money from it, to answer your question, at this point. By 1998, Craigslist had thousands of readers. It's becoming embedded in daily life in San Francisco. It's still just in San Francisco at this point.
Right.
People are using it now. It's the first place people go if they're looking for a job or an apartment or roommates. I've certainly have gotten so many apartments, so many pieces of furniture.
It's such a great word of mouth thing too. Someone new moves to San Francisco. They're like, I need this or that. They're like, oh, check out Craigslist because you can find everything.
Everything. There. You can get your job. You can get your couch. You can get your TV. You can get. I bought a dong. You can get your dong.
Thank you.
I bought the little mini Nintendo off Craigslist like right before Christmas. And I think it was from a guy who like worked at Best Buy because they were like sold out really fast. And I think he... I
remember that. You wanted it for your Christmas party because it was like the hot thing.
It was the hot new thing and it was fun to have because like, Christmas party, some people are a little shy. It's like, let's have a little Dr. Mario on so people could play a little Dr. Mario during the party.
A safe space.
And so this guy came and it was like, he had a bunch of them and I feel like he was wearing like a Best Buy t-shirt. I was like, oh, you just like... stole these.
And people get mad, like, or they might buy them all, and people get mad. I'm like, girl, they have to work at Best Buy.
Yeah.
Like, let them make a little extra money.
I think I was like thinking it as like, I'm doing a good deed. I'm overpaying for this, so this guy can have a better Christmas for his family. Meanwhile, he probably like bought crack. A gun.
Wow.
Maybe he killed somebody.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow. Everyone at Best Buy is a gun-toting crack whore.
My assumption is that that these people are good, and so, but it's not always the case.
I assume they're good, and I believe they're good.
Yeah, I believe he's good. I believe he's a good man.
Definitely not dead.
And he definitely didn't get fired from his job at Best Buy for stealing 20 mini Nintendos.
I don't think he stole them.
You think he bought them?
I think he bought them and then sold them at a profit.
Would you be allowed to do that if you worked at Best Buy?
Well, he's posting on Craigslist. I don't think he went to his boss and was like, hey, do you mind if I buy all these and post on Craigslist?
Yeah, he probably had a mustache.
Definitely.
Hello.
Each house he goes to, even though they're not related at all, has a completely different outfit.
Yeah, why not?
A guy from Best Buy in a top hat was at my... Oh, that wasn't my guy. My guy had a long barbell mustache.
Have you seen the things that people do at Target or various places? I'm sure they do at Walmart too, where they hide stuff underneath the shelves.
Oh, yeah. And then someone opens the shelf and they're like, I found this Star Wars toy from 1993 in here.
So if you work on the shelf, if you work there and you're stocking up this really rare thing, you could like lift up the bottom and then hide it in there. And then after your shift's over, you go and you just buy it. You've hidden?
I used to hide stuff at Target because they would have good clearance. Clearance comes in stages, like 25, 50, 75,
So you put something
90.
in before it's on sale?
Like a good item, because all the good stuff is at 25. I would go to like laundry and put it in like a basket in the back. And then like come back a week later, that thing's down to 90% off. And I'm like, toing, reindeer.
You go up to the register and they're like, oh, this doesn't have a clearance sticker on it, but it's somehow
80
2
cents?
pennies?
Like, wow, I can't believe no one's bought this in the last
week.
week.
It was on the shelf. Not going to say which one.
Well, I just get lucky.
Interesting. So in 1999, Craigslist officially becomes a private for-profit company without any revenue yet.
For-profit.
Behaving unlike a typical company, but just to be like legit, he quits his job at Charles Schwab. He works on Craigslist full-time. By early 2000, he now has 9 employees working out of his living room. They're on folding tables. They're on secondhand furniture that they got from Craigslist themselves.
That's hilarious.
New startup in search of folding chairs.
That's how you apply for the job. You have to acquire one purchase from Craigslist.
Yes, to show that you understand the interface.
You have to get something from every category.
Oh, I love that. Pet.
Everyone shows up with a kitten or a lizard.
A dong.
Of course, a chair.
Of course. So early 2000s, this is like the peak of the dot-com boom like we were talking about. So venture capitalists are now coming from Silicon Valley to San Francisco. They're seeing all this potential, all these new ideas. This is when the offices are like very extravagant and the workforces are very bloated and everybody's way overpaid. And Craigslist is still like, they're just 9 employees in his apartment in his living room, like drinking his Fanta and barefoot carpet.
Oh, man, that place smells good.
He's noticing, Craig, as CEO, his own limitations, because this was not something he wasn't somebody who went to computer school to be like, I'm going to start my own like Fortune 500 company someday. That's not how he operates. He is struggling with personnel decisions. He's having a hard time firing anybody. He's overwhelmed by managing this team and he's hesitating to expand because he just feels kind of like paralyzed with indecision. So he does something that is also very rare in this industry. He actively sought somebody who was better suited to run his company, and he was fully happy to hand it over. Obviously, he would maintain like some monetary benefit from it, but he was like, this is so opposite from people in this world, this like where everybody's like an egomaniac and thinks that they have the best ideas for everything. He's like, I actually don't know what I'm doing. Can we hire somebody who does?
Yeah, that's great.
So then he meets somebody named Jim Buckmaster on Craigslist.
No way. What category?
He posted his resume on Craigslist. So he was just posting looking for a job. He probably was like, I'm a programmer looking for a job. My name is Jim Buckmaster. He's 5'8".
I feel like Jim Buckmaster might have come from Men for Men. I don't know that came from a job.
You might have spent a little time with Jim Buckmaster.
Oh, I'm Hollywood Justin. Oh, great. I'm Jim Buckmaster. Why don't we meet for coffee in my dungeon? What the hell?
Jim Buckmaster was hired as lead programmer. And this was a decision that would permanently shape the company because it was Craig and Jim Buckmaster. They're the two people at the top. And this is just from him like one morning, he probably was like hungover. He woke up, he was like, I need to get a job. And he's just like, programmer looking for work. And now he's a billionaire.
Oh my God.
Very lucky. Very, very lucky. A little bit on Jim Buckmaster. He graduated summa cum laude. I never know how to say that. Is that right?
Cum laude.
Summa cum laude.
Summa comes a lot. This is all a fake thing.
You're right. This is all fake. And then Hollywood Justin comes in and he completely revitalized the adult industry.
I feel like Jim Buckmaster is one of two things. A Dom that came in and Craig no longer exists.
Sure.
Or he is Craig.
Oh, interesting. He's his alter ego.
Did we ever see photos of them together? Were they ever at...
We did, but they can Photoshop. They're computer guys.
If anyone can Photoshop.
You think this is his like Sasha Fierce?
I think this is his Sasha Fierce.
They do look quite different.
Okay.
I'll say that. So he graduated with a degree in biochemistry from Virginia Tech. He enrolled in medical school at the University of Michigan, which is that in Ann Arbor?
Yes. That is literally feet away from Zingerman's. Oh my God. I knew I loved Craigslist.
And he dropped out in 1986 due to lack of interest, which I think that's what happened to me if I went to medical school. I'd be like, turns out I don't care.
You know what? I'm not interested in this.
But he is like a passionate learner. He spent years just informally auditing classes. He would just like show up like to learn. He's doing data entry. He's teaching himself how to code. He's sleeping on couches. He's making his own tofu. As I said, he's 6'8".
Okay.
So he's like, he reads Noam Chomsky. He's like anti-corporate culture. He's really kind of like representing this kind of like free spirit anti-capitalism that I'm sure Craig, they hit it off.
Yeah. It's like, I picture it being like Hagrid and Harry Potter.
Yes.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Carries him to bed.
Exactly.
There's a lot. This is a lot to take in.
Within a year, Buckmaster. Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry.
In search of wedding chairs. Florist for...
Looking for leftover vases. Mm-hmm. All right, within a year.
Within a year, he rebuilt much of Craigslist's technical infrastructure. So he got in, he was like, okay, no. We need to design a multi-city architecture for this website. Because right now it's just San Francisco. Why are we thinking small? We need to be like create it so we can easily send this off to like cities all over the country.
Which was really smart. And it was so easy to do because you could just type in whatever it was, like Craigslist.org/Cincinnati or wherever you are.
So easy. And it didn't require like other companies who have to expand. Oh, we need to like move into that city and like learn the habits, learn the people, learn what they want. Like if you're opening a sandwich shop in Cincinnati, you need to go in and go like, okay, what are the market trends? This is just something they digitally send off. And if people in Cincinnati use it and like it, then it flourishes. And if not, it doesn't, but it's of no extra overhead for them. So it's also like a very like profitable business structure.
What I remember being so fascinating about it was that when I used it, I was obviously in Los Angeles.
Sure.
So it's like the M for M, which is where I spent the majority of my time. Those ads, there would be 100 new ads every hour, every 2 hours.
Crazy.
And then I would start going to Cincinnati and you would have like 5 ads a day. And then
wild.
I watched that grow over time where
Yeah.
it never got as big as LA, but it was like, it did take a moment, like a learning curve and a discovery curve.
For people to understand, this is like anonymous. This is like safe, relatively. I mean, not super safe, but you know, ish. Up to you. And actually, Buckmaster, he created the community flagging moderation system so it could kind of like self-police and the personals category structure.
Of course he did. He's like, you know what we need here, Craig? I mean, this guy's looking for...
People are finding everything.
Yeah.
They're buying a juicer. They're buying a couch. But where can they buy a dong?
Where can they get a dong?
He also wrote the site had a little haiku error message that kind of became part of the like cuteness of the website. If you had like a dead link that you went to, it would say something like, it would always be like a random haiku. And an example of one, it would say, frogs croak and gulls cry. Silently a river floods. A red leaf floats by. And it'd be like, air. He'd write little haikus.
That's cute.
Yeah,
that
he's
sounds
like,
familiar, but I don't really remember that.
In November of 2000, Buckmaster becomes CEO. And Craig Newmark, he is thrilled to step into customer service because this is what he wants to do. He's personally answering emails. So if somebody's like, this person's spamming M4M, you get Craig of Craigslist is managing that email, maybe blocking a user, reviewing complaints. He did that for decades by choice.
He's me. I'm
He's
both of them.
you and the Insta Egg.
I'm the Insta Egg and the Puzzle Dom. I am both of these men in one.
Wow. The yin and the yang. Tattoo on your chest, Craig and Buckmaster.
Buckmaster. I just want a big Buckmaster across my throat.
So Craig described Buckmaster as possibly the only CEO described as anti-establishment, a communist, and a socialistic anarchist. So this is very much in the spirit of Craigslist. It's entirely self-run. It's mostly self-policed. It grows as the community grows. It's completely organic. Nobody's trying to force it. It's like the best example of that like utopian society ecosystem. Dongs aplenty. Free couches as far as the eye can see.
Slightly stained. Gently used.
Small crust.
Small crust.
In 2000, we have the .com collapse. So Buckmaster CEO, in March of 2000, the NASDAQ peaked and the .com bubble imploded. So all these companies, like we mentioned before, that raised massive venture capital collapsed. We have Pets.com folded within months, Webvan, which was a grocery delivery service, which is like, it's not so funny. It was just like the wrong time because now we have Chewy.com where you buy cat food in the mail. It's like, it was the same thing.
And everyone uses it.
A Segway. It just wasn't the right time for the innovation. San Francisco's Soma district, which had now been overrun with all of these big tech startups, was emptied out almost overnight. Everybody just had to like abandon their big, crazy office spaces. Wow. And tech workers who had been paying months of rent up front are now disappeared. People are like leaving San Francisco. Craigslist survived without so much as a burp. Because as I mentioned before, it had no venture capital, no stock price, no payroll, no dependency on advertisers, the smallest overhead possible, a very simple revenue stream, which at this point he charged for job listings in select cities. So that would be New York, San Francisco, and LA. I think in San Francisco it was the highest. It was like $20 to post a job listing, or in New York, $10 to post a job listing. That was the only way they were getting any revenue. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it vets it a little bit because anyone could be like, come to my house. I'll interview you. And
exactly.
then you're kidnapped.
And then you're kidnapped. But even that was enough because their overhead was so low that they can make millions of dollars just from these tiny little incremental ad listings. So as layoffs surged, convenient for Craigslist, what do people need after layoffs? They need jobs. They need newer, cheap apartments. They need used furniture. They need gig work. Craigslist was the perfect hub for everybody who had just been let go from their big, high-paying tech job. Perfect harmony.
Yeah.
So still in 2000, we have our new CEO, dot-com bubble burst. Now Craigslist is expanding. We have 9 new cities in 2000, 4 more in 2001, 4 in 2002, 14 in 2003. So now it's in Boston, New York, Chicago, LA, Seattle, Portland, Atlanta, on and on and on. I'm sure they had some kind of way of figuring out what cities to start in. Just starting like biggest metropolitan urban areas was where they began.
You have your Tampa. You have your
Orlando. You have your
Miami.
Kissimmee.
You have your
Jacksonville.
Florida. You have also all known as America's Dong.
Florida?
Yeah.
Is America's Dong?
No offense
known as by who?
Me.
Okay.
That's what I've always called it. Sorry, Nazi.
Okay, sorry about that. So now by 2003, young urban America, Craigslist is like the first place they go. You leave home, you give mama and papa a kiss goodbye, you get on the train to the big city, and Craigslist is now the first thing you do. You find your apartment, your roommate, your first post-college job, you're buying furniture, you're selling furniture during your move, you're buying a used car, you're browsing missed connections and hoping that that person you made eye contact with on the subway noticed you back. And it's more of a website at this point. It's just a life tool. There's nobody else who is doing what Craigslist is doing. It's the bulletin board for all of America. And for people who are starting out on their own, who are more likely to be tech savvy, you're 20, you're leaving your family for the first time, you're starting from scratch. It was just perfectly poised to take advantage of like that type of person.
I mean, and it's just another generation of the one ads and the classifieds.
Absolutely.
Because in the 70s, people would sit at their dining room table with the paper, looking for apartments, looking for jobs, circling ads. It's just a digital version of that.
Yes, and I'll mention, since you mentioned it, a little thing about newspapers. So for most of the 20th century, classifieds ads were 30 to 40% of newspaper ad revenue. And in 2000, classified ads nationwide totaled $19.6 billion. So that was still a big part of how newspapers were able to stay afloat. When Craigslist entered and they were offering free or near free listings for job postings, for apartments, anything like that, selling a car, you used to have to literally, like me, would look in a newspaper to when we were looking to buy like my first car when I was 16.
I found my apartment in a newspaper.
In a newspaper, right?
In a newspaper.
The revenue declines in newspapers were very swift. And by 2012, classified revenue had fallen 77%.
I believe it. It's like the decline of the newspaper and the phone book kind of went hand in hand.
Exactly.
I used to get a phone book delivered to my home. Like on my porch, I'd come home once a year and there's a big
soggy phone book that's sitting in the rain.
So big.
So
it's like
soggy.
I know 3 people in this book of 80,000 pages.
Yeah.
And I already know their numbers, but it's like, oh, I need a new tire. Let's flip through.
Right. I know. Or
What a
an
time.
erotic massage.
And then robot massage. That can't be right.
Erotic.
And
You're thinking
I was
about
doing a callback from 4
You're
shows
thinking about
ago.
Roberto.
Roberto. And Thomas Guides. Everything was on paper.
I know.
If you're not familiar with Thomas Guides, when you moved to LA, it was like basically a phone book size map to find any place in LA. Probably have them in San Francisco,
And
New
I
York,
swear
and other places.
that I have a better understanding of the city, that neighborhood that I lived in, because I use the Thomas Guide, than I do now in the neighborhood that I've been driving around for 15 years. Because looking at a map, there's nothing that will orient you better in your surroundings and prevent you from getting lost than like a good old fashioned map study. I had it push pin to my wall. So that while I was like brushing my teeth, I would just be like, okay, Sweetser, La Cienega, Cahuenga, Fountain, Santa Monica, like just kind of studying it.
No wonder like the generation now can't do anything. Like we
Yeah.
had to like literally sit there with this book. You would look up, I have a audition on Bryan Street.
Yes.
You look up Bryan Street in the back, go to page 230, like use like a AB 123 system,
Yeah.
find it, figure out where that relates to your home. It was chaos.
It was chaos, and we're dumber for it. I like have to use Google Maps or whatever for like going to places I've been to dozens of times now.
I know.
I just can't retain it anymore.
It still makes me so shocked that there's like Thomas Guide did not become the default
Right?
navigation app.
It's like Blockbuster not becoming the default like movie service.
I wish there was a podcast on brands because I would love to know more about the Thomas Guide.
You can have dibs on that.
I'll do that.
Thomas's Guide, very similar to Craig's List. To talk about the newspapers, because we had just been talking about it,
Yeah.
Newspapers lost at least $5 billion between 2000 and 2007. And that loss wasn't just profit. It meant there were fewer reporters, fewer editors, local bureaus are closed, investigative journalism is weakened because salaries have to be cut. Industry leaders warned that in the late 1990s that electronic classifieds were an existential threat, and most newspapers did fail to pivot aggressively to digital. So
It was such a, like, it seems like I could see why that would all kind of be a perfect storm because, like, you would do a classified ad. There was a time you watched the Brady Bunch, like, we need to find something here, write out a classified ad, go to the newspaper and, like, place it, buy the ad, and they had to, like, place it.
And then wait, like 2 weeks.
Wait 2 weeks for it to go out, then get a phone call. I think I found the thing you're looking for. It was just...
It's a disaster.
Craigslist kind of simplified all that for the people that were able to navigate a computer.
I know. It's a bummer for those who weren't, though.
Yeah.
So at this point, Craigslist is now all over the country. It still has fewer than 50 employees, a CEO who's very skeptical of capitalism and corporate structure, a founder who is answering personally your spam complaints, and a design that looks the same as it had for years. So it had survived the wreckage of the dot-com bust. It's stronger for it, and it's poised now to like be around forever. They start to have a little bit of shaky ground. In August of 2004, eBay purchased a 25% stake in Craigslist for $32 million. eBay had their sneaky little paws wanting to buy Craigslist for years, and Craig's and Buckmaster always said no. They were like, we don't want this to be absorbed into this like giant corporate entity like eBay. That's like the opposite of everything we stand for. The shares were sold by a former early employee named Philip Knowlton. I'll put him on blast. I'll put his ass on blast.
You can do that. You can just go, like, one person who has shares can go to a company and be like, I'll sell you mine.
You can. He was an early employee, and they had given him 25% of the stake in the company. And without any warning or notice to Craig and Buckmaster, he sold his shares to eBay, the enemy, for $32 million.
Why did you not tell people to pull over? I just pulled over in my mouth. That's insane. I didn't know you could do that.
I know. I felt that to be very it's so shady because you assume that these guys like have such a good, intimate, friendly relationship. It's like they probably didn't have a contract that said like, oh, by the way, never share your set. We had like have to agree as a board.
Well, yeah, usually
I'm sure
there's
there was
like
none of that.
First approval or first denial or something like that.
Sure. So surely this jerk, Philip Knowlton, was kind of taking advantage of maybe like the loosey-goosey agreement structure of the early days of this company. But now eBay, which is the dominant global online marketplace, has a board seat.
And the thing about eBay's another show we should do. I've used eBay
years
since the beginning of internet. They probably wanted Craigslist I would assume they would want Craigslist for people to not use Craigslist. Like they're all about monetizing, selling your old shit.
Yeah.
And Craigslist is about selling, like they
could have wanted to buy it just to like absorb it at eBay and like to kill their competition.
100%. Because eBay doesn't even allow you now. You can't even like, if you like type to contact the customer, they have AI that scans what you write them to make sure you're not going off-site.
Like, hey, can I just Venmo you for this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
eBay's kind of a crazy behemoth of a company.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
At that time, so during this 25% acquisition, eBay was developing Kijiji. Do you remember Kijiji?
No.
Kijiji. I know I had seen this before. I think it's like a Swahili word for village or something. And it was their competing classifieds platform. It is like exactly the same as Craigslist, except it's like eBay's Craigslist called Kijiji. So to Craigslist founders, it's like, we got a wolf in the hen house. They like bought into our business. They are poking around and they're going to try to like steal our idea. It just was like very, very shady. They did not want eBay's fingers in their pie, obviously. Yeah. In 2008, so this went on, what year was that happened? 2004, so this went on for 4 years.
I didn't make any joke about that either.
About what?
Fingers in the pie.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're growing up.
Thank you.
I like that. They are having the most awkward time. Imagining they're at a board meeting and you have like Mr. eBay coming in his like suit, and then like you have these hippies that are like making tofu at the table, and it's like, this is your board?
And one big Dom, who I keep now picturing looking like Bowser.
He's more thin. He's more thin than like a Hagrid, but a 6'8" is really tall.
That's really tall.
And scruffy.
Thin, and now he's like one of those scary people, like you look out your window at night and he's just standing at the edge of the forest.
You mean the 28 years later, the big zombie?
Or that.
Yeah, maybe that. In 2008, Craigslist figured out a way, and I'm like, why didn't they just do this 4 years earlier? I didn't go to business school. They issued new shares to Craig and Buckmaster, which was able to dilute eBay's ownership stake and removed its ability to appoint a board member.
Good.
And then eBay sues Craigslist for breach of fiduciary duty, all business stuff.
Yeah.
Craigslist countersued, saying that they misused confidential board access. They shared their insights of what they learned at Craigslist with Kijiji. They engaged in unfair, illegal competition. They have a crazy courtroom drama. The lawsuit is drawing a lot of attention. Because this feels like David versus Goliath. This is like the little guy Craigslist versus this like big tech behemoth eBay. eBay was arguing that Craigslist was obligated to maximize shareholder value, and that it was basically like against the ethos of the company to not seek profits by any means necessary. That's like what a company is supposed to do for your shareholders. And they're saying, no, we are a mission prioritized company. We value community over profit maximization. And Jim Buckmaster testified that early talks with eBay suggested it would remain a passive minority investor, which at that time, that ship had already sailed. So after 7 years of legal hostility, in 2015, eBay sold its stake back to Craigslist. They've never disclosed how much that was for. The board seat was not restored. But after that, they finally had full control over their company again. What a headache. From 2004 to 2015.
Wow. So they finally get complete control over a company that I don't know if anyone cares about anymore. Were people still talking about, were they still using Craigslist in 2015?
Yeah, Craigslist was still big in 2015. We'll talk about when it kind of starts to maybe fizzle a little bit.
Okay.
But first, let's talk about the rise of erotic services.
Oh, good. And I hope that this leads to where I hope it's leading, but if not, I'll bring it up.
So Craigslist had personal ads since the early years. In the mid-2000s, its erotic services section had evolved into a big online marketplace for sex work. So listings would be escorts, possibly sex trafficking victims controlled by third parties. And the scale of the section made it very controversial. People were kind of like starting to see this is going to cause some public backlash for the company, but it's also illegal. It's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. So I'll just kind of speed through it. So
it was just kind of an unregulated area that people started to like hone in on.
Yes, it was very unregulated. In March of 2009, the sheriff's office is suing Craigslist, saying that this is a public nuisance. They tried to do something in the adult services category where they would charge a $10 fee per listing and manual employee review of the post, meant to like deter illegal activity. So not saying like, buy my dong, you know what I mean? That might be like, oh, that's illegal, that's prostitution. But it also became quite lucrative with this $10 ad service fee. They generated $44 million in 1 year.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
right?
a lot of ding dong.
But it's still kind of fed into this like, I don't know, contradiction of Craigslist model where it's like, well, are you open and like free speech, or are you like controlling and intervened by like the website itself, the company itself? But then they're kind of seeing, oh, there's like real world harms from this. So then in 2018 was when Craigslist permanently removed its personal section because it was starting to not reflect well on the values of the company, to say like, oh, we are making it easier for like sex traffickers to like find victims.
Well, wasn't there something about like if they kept it in there, they would get like sued by the government or something for, I think that there was some like some law passed. I could be wrong, but I feel like there was a legal reason that they had to
keep it in there, or they would pull it.
If they kept going with it, they could get sued for like every ad that, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like they either had to police it really rigorously to make sure everything was above board, which they don't want to do. That feels like against like their mission on the website. So it's
I could have done that for I could have done.
You would have done that for free.
Yeah.
I'll look at all these pics.
Craig, Jim, and John. Yeah, let's do it.
Have you heard of the Craigslist killer?
Oh, that's where I was hoping you would get to.
Okay, so this was April 2009. A man named Philip Markoff is a 23-year-old Boston University medical student.
Let me just throw this in before you get into this story.
Yes.
So hooking up at this time, which obviously I've joked about, I was very fluent in.
Sure.
It was... like it could be anyone. You did not know who you were inviting to your home. You did not know whose home you were going into.
Scary and dangerous.
There were times like you would show up. I would show up at someone's house. They would open the door and be like, "You're ugly," and shut the door in my face. There'd be times people see. I was always nicer about that.
I'm sure.
When someone came
Did
over,
you ever shut the door in someone's face?
Gently. What I would do if someone came over and they were
click.
Nobody home. No, if someone came over and they either had grossly misrepresented themselves or there was just no connection, Hollywood Justin's way of handling that was, you know what? I'm really new to this. I'm more nervous than I thought I would be.
Oh, that's
so
really
I don't think I
nice.
can go through with this
because I didn't want to. I'm straight and my wife is out of town and I'm just getting cold feet. I've always wanted to do this, but now that the fantasy is becoming real, I just don't think I can go through with it.
I can't. You're a great guy, and if I change my mind,
that's my wife calling right now. Hi, Sheila.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm just tucking into bed. How's the business convention? Sorry, I have to go.
God, it's
click.
This is all before he came in, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is on the threshold.
So I had my moments. I hooked up a lot. Because you did not know who was coming to your house, I had knives hidden throughout my home. I had one or two knives in my couch. I had a knife under my mattress. I had a knife in the shower.
Oh my God.
I had knives everywhere. I don't even think I'm the type of person that could stab a human.
I'm wondering, what would you do with the knife? I don't see you doing that.
I'd probably grab the knife, scream, and run out of the house with the knife.
Sure, yeah.
In theory, I would take it and plunge it into someone's chest and kill them. But yeah, you just didn't know what you were getting. So and I wasn't doing that as a joke. That was just in case I needed basic protection.
The fact that we say the Craigslist killer and there's only one is shocking.
There's only one that a movie has been made of.
Sure.
There's definitely more than one Craigslist
that
killer.
maybe are lost to time. But the famous Craigslist killer is this guy, Philip. He's 23. He's a college student. He's a top student. Never trust a top student.
Never trust a top.
Never trust a top.
A top student. Oh, yeah. Right. Got it.
Yeah, got it. He's a volunteer at a medical center. He is engaged to be married with a wedding later that year. Secretly, he has a ton of gambling debt, $130,000. He has a compulsive pattern of online solicitation of pleasure. Mm-hmm. 1 week in 2009, he contacts 3 women who had posted escort or massage ads, arranged meetings at upscale hotels in Boston and Rhode Island. He bound them with plastic ties and robbed them at gunpoint. And then there was somebody who resisted, and he shot and killed her. So
I feel like there was another one, too. I don't remember if it was Craigslist, but I feel like it was, where it was like a gay one where a guy would lure you to his farm and kill you and bury you on the farm or something.
Never get lured to a farm.
Come look at my tractor. Well, when you're in Ohio,
I need to be within shouting distance at all times. That's one thing I love about in a city. If I yell, 4 people will come out of their houses.
Yeah.
I love that.
One time on Craigslist when I was in Cincinnati, man, I would get really lonely and want some friendship.
Some male company.
And one time got really lured in with this conversation with someone. Late at night, they convinced me to come over, and it was so far away across town. Mm-hmm. I left watching TV with family to go meet this person, get a quarter of the way there, and they text me. And they said that they were a college student, and this was an experiment that they wanted to see how many people they could get to come hook up with them without knowing them, that they don't exist. The person I've been talking to isn't real.
Oh my
to
God.
go home, and I became a statistic of this stupid term paper. And now, what I have to say to that is now I'm curriculum.
I'm curriculum, bitch. You were curriculum back then. You just didn't know it.
I guess I've been curriculum for a while.
So you came back home. What did you tell your family?
I don't remember. Probably nothing. I mean, they were
like, I thought you were going out to get Sonic. Oh, yeah. They were closed.
I came home with 10 wings that at that time only cost $3.
There you go. It'll never be the same again.
Yeah.
By 2012, Craigslist now is in 700 plus cities and across 70 countries. So it is this is the explosion. This is the peak. In the mid 2000s, it exceeded 150 million annually, and it just keeps climbing. So they had their modest fees for high value categories, job postings, NYC apartment broker postings, but most listings for regular people like you and me, I'm selling a mirrored headboard, a stripper pole, it's free.
You never explain a stripper pole.
I did like strip aerobics and I wanted a pole in my house. I did strip aerobics and I wanted a pole in my house. And then later I was moving in with David and I was like, I got to get rid of this thing. But I actually did make a profit. I bought the pole for $80 and I sold it for $150.
Oh, I thought you
I'm a stripper flipper.
Merch. The stripper flipper. That's better than the CQ you get called on other pods. CQ, that's culture queer.
Oh, I love that.
Wait, there must have been a stripper pole period because I won't name names, but I have another friend who also installed a stripper pole.
I'm sure it was during the same era. There was like a workout class that had like stripper poles, and it was like very popular in like 2008.
Did they call them
on Oprah?
Did they call them stripper poles or did they call them like
dance poles?
Dance poles.
Probably dance poles.
Proper lady dance pole.
But in my Gmail, I have a bunch of like, how tall is the pole? Does it spin? Can it fit in 10-foot ceiling?
I have a lot of those in my email too.
Does it spin, John? Does it?
How tall is the pole?
I have to shout out Craig because he is at this point a billionaire and he is a incredible philanthropist. He has given away millions and millions and millions of dollars through his philanthropy, eye exams for kids, women in tech, veterans groups, journalism reform. He's such like a low-key man. All this while, literally billionaire, answering spam emails about you, probably trying to post the same thing 2 times in a day.
It's been more than 12 hours, Craig. Why can't I post this?
Right. Yeah, there you go. So
you know what I love about him? I've never heard, like, I don't hear about his philanthropy. So it's like he's just doing it to do it.
Exactly. He's not putting his name on the foundation. It's like, it's all about his original mission, which was like people helping people. People are good. This is when we get to the decline. 2016 is when Facebook Marketplace launches.
I love that I was like, 2015, he's great. They got control of a company that no one cares about. You're like, no, everyone cares about it until the next year.
But it's still active. That's the thing. There are some holdouts. I think they're dying off, but there are holdouts because I think Facebook Marketplace is almost like it's gotten so scammy that maybe now like Craigslist has like a purity to it. I don't know. Facebook Marketplace is so scammy. At the beginning, though, it had a lot of advantages over Craigslist because it's not anonymous. It's built into your people's Facebook accounts. You see the real person there's like identity verification. And by 2020, so it took until 2020, Facebook Marketplace became the dominant place for peer-to-peer local sales. And younger users are going there for furniture and their bikes and their whatever.
And LinkedIn probably took over for jobs, maybe.
Yeah, Probably. So the revenue fell from over $1 billion in 2018 to $660 million by 2021, down to $302 million by 2024. So we lost the personals, we have competition with Facebook, and a refusal to modernize the interface, but I don't think that's really a knock against it. I think that's actually like quite a perk. Still, despite all of that, it is among the top 20 most visited websites in the US.
Still today,
because it has a minuscule staff. I think it has like 30 people that work there. They're probably still in a living room on a folding chair. It is operationally so lean that its margins are so high, it can still be a huge, huge company, hugely successful.
I wonder if anyone's still applying for a job at Craigslist. They just show up at the apartment like, well, so what we want you to do is just sit here for half a day and see if we all get along.
Yeah, I think so.
You got the job,
You got the job. That's it on Craigslist.
Wow. I'm like sweating.
I know. That was intense. It was steamy. It was a roller coaster.
You really took us all over. You took me back. I did already try to picture what the Insta egg will be. I'm like, who's the most famous Craig? Is it that Bond guy?
Probably Daniel Craig, but that's his last name.
That's his last name.
So you need to do Daniel Craig minus Daniel Tiger.
I was thinking of like a famous Craig holding a list and he's saying mine. This is mine or something like that.
Somebody will still be like, Entenmann's. Everyone always thinks it's Entenmann's.
Last week, did you see all the Entenmann's I got? I'm like, it's famous Amos. And then I got 9 Entenmann's. But then I realized the logo does look similar.
Yeah, sure.
I couldn't figure out where they were getting Entenmann's from. I got to Dom a little bit on that one. Very fun. That was an awesome episode.
Is
Great
it on
story.
brand or off brand for you, John?
Ooh, me or Hollywood Justin? I'm going to say for John, on brand.
Okay.
For Hollywood Justin, hard on brand.
I love that.
Used to be a hard on brand.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, the me who was buying and selling stripper poles on Craigslist, dare I say, that was Hollywood Susan.
Susan. I picked Justin because that's like a young, cute guy name. You picked Susan. I'm thinking of like Susan, that singer, that old lady singer who came out.
Susan Boyle?
Susan Boyle.
Hollywood Susan Boyle. That's me. So
Hollywood Boyle.
Hollywood Boyle, buying and selling stripper pole. Your one-stop shop for the Little Minx X. Doesn't spin, but you're not going to need it to.
What's like a cute girl name? Sasha? Jenny?
Tina?
Kayla?
Tina, that was code for crystal meth on Craigslist. Remember
tell
that?
me about it. And P&P, party and play,
Ooh.
just means drugs.
Oh.
Everyone on there was like a druggie.
It was wild.
I'm like, no P&P. No
Diet
Tina.
Coke only.
I did meet up with someone that was on Tina once. That was an experience.
Tina.
They would be like, hey, do you like Tina Turner? I'm like, actually, yeah, I think some of her out, like no.
You dork.
Dummy. Well, what is it on?
So for Hollywood Boyle, it's hard on.
It can't be Boyle. Hollywood. We'll just call you the stripper flipper.
Okay, so for the stripper flipper, it's a hard on. For me, I mean, I last visited it. Maybe I'll go back, probably like 5 years ago. So I'm going to say it's a on for me.
You know what I think this episode will end up being called?
What?
Hollywood Justin and the Stripper Flipper.
I love that. That was great.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. That was a great show. I know the freaks are going to love that.
Sorry, it was long, Al.
No, why be sorry? It was a fun show.
I know the Doughboys episodes are like 3 hours long. People are like, we want more. It's like, I guess you all have long commutes. I don't know where you drive in. Some people like a long show. I saw Famous Amos was almost an hour and a half. That was the longest one I'd done in a while. Well, that's fine.
All right. Well, speaking of freaks, it's time to do our shout out for our Freaks of the Week. Oh, and if you're wondering how you become a Freak of the Week, it's really easy. If you didn't know, every Wednesday on our Instagram story, I post a little puzzle. And if you solve that puzzle and figure out what our brand is going to be that week and let me know, I'm going to send you a little freak badge. I'll let you know you got it right. And I'm going to add your name to our Wheel of Freaks, which I spin 5 times every week to pick our 5 Freaks of the Week. And that's who these lucky listeners are now. This was for the Build-A-Bear Insta Egg. Very fun little egg. Very easy. It was easy by intention. A bear under construction. Everyone got it right, but one person who thought it was Beanie Babies, which I'm still not over. But they have been publicly shamed by me and their friend.
I love that.
So all these people got it right, and they're our Freaks of the Week. Congratulations to Cassie, also known as Show Pony Prowls. Margot, also known as Foxy Otter Catering and Confection.
Oh my gosh.
Sarah Rebecca Davies. Serena Wedlake, and Stephen Reitz. I hope I'm saying that right, Reitz. So thank you guys so much for playing the egg. I have so much fun making them. I love how many people play it and try to solve it. If you're not on Instagram, jump on there. Check out our egg every Wednesday. Check out all of our other posts. We do supplemental materials. You're going to be able to see what this Dom looks like from Craigslist and Craig himself and find out if they're hot and not and all those things and see Marissa's posters she makes for all the shows and just silly things we post. So if you're not on Instagram and it's not overwhelming, jump on there and join us.
While we're giving shout outs, I'd like to shout out a lovely listener who left us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We have Sherploomy, Fun Pod, Smart Talk. These guys are so fun and interesting. They're authentically friends, you can tell. I absolutely love listening to them talk about brands and giving us a slice of their lives. Go John and Marissa.
Aww.
That's so nice.
That's very nice.
If you haven't left us a review on Apple Podcasts, please do a 5-star one, preferably.
Nothing less. Nothing less. Don't you're going to get on there and do 4 stars.
No.
Like, I laughed a lot, but could have laughed more.
That's rude.
4 stars.
Really rude. Please do. It boosts the show. It boosts morale. You can go on Instagram at OnBrandThePod, TikTok at OnBrandThePodcast, chat with John in bed, in jeans, play the Insta Egg game, join the Patreon for an extra episode every Tuesday, chat with us on Discord. Lots of fun to be had by all. And with that, we'll be back next week with an all-new episode.
You know what I realized I should have said when you asked me if this was, I should have said Craigslist is, for me, a 5 dong brand.
Oh, I love that.
Should we start rating everything in dongs?
Sure.
That's canon from now on. And remember, guys, we may go off topic, as you just saw, but we'll always be on brand.
Bye.
Bye.